comes down to that. If the courts don't side, then it goes to.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, I think it comes down to the Congress and.
Please enter your
courts decide.
Please say your name, followed by the pound key. You are the first participant in the conference.
I should.
Well, it is 9 o'clock. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Somebody's been messing around here and they stole my pen.
There might be another one there somewhere.
It's probably somebody from the auditor's office.
Probably.
I'll second that motion.
Didn't have his name on it.
No.
And a motion from Derby and a second from Stenger to approve minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9 a.m. Consider for approval resolution to postpone tax sale. So it's getting to be a monthly thing anymore. Do we need her here for that?
I'll make that a motion.
She didn't give me the resolution.
But
so-
she indicated she wanted to keep pushing it off until
Yeah.
the next
Yeah, last
tax
time she was
cycle.
here. Yeah.
I'll second Mike's motion.
A motion from Stenger and a second for Derby to approve a resolution to postpone tax sale. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's not 9:05 yet.
I can wait.
You can wait?
I'm a patient man.
Yes.
Just ask my wife. Don't.
Well,
We're 6.
We can do 5, I think, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on to number 5, consider for approval closing documents for the loan.
Just gonna put these here.
I'll make a motion to approve those, assuming they're all in order.
So this is just,
We've
already
already did
ordered.
yours. We just assumed you wanted to.
okay.
All right, just need to sign it.
Yeah, date it and sign it and stamp it, please.
Girl just needs to sign. And then I'll just take care of these. These are the tax forms.
And
So,
you want to date it? On the 10th.
Yeah.
Yep. Who just gets to stamp?
I gotta get it out.
Good, yourself? Great.
Sign that.
One more signature, Bill.
Thank you. If I sent a couple of registrations with you for my dad and somebody else, you guys fill that and I'll just stop by to pick it up.
Sure. And I'll leave a copy of the original.
thank you.
That's okay.
All right.
I made a motion by here.
You made the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Motion Stender and a second from Derby to approve closing documents for loan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Now it's 9:05. 9:05 a.m. Pastor Doug Domokos, or how do you say it?
Domikos.
Domokos.
I like your way better.
Is that right?
It's been pronounced a lot of different ways, so you're probably just fine.
Well, you know, usually when you got the vowels that close, the O has the O sound, but you're,
Yep, I answer to a lot of things.
well, I've answered to much worse.
Thank you.
To discuss winter holiday display on the Winnebago County Courthouse grounds with possible action.
I gave you the paper, Terry.
I read it.
And I just noticed something on this, and this is our 10th year that we're requesting this. And on item, the guidelines on number 10, it says such holiday displays may be displayed from December 10th of one year to January 5th of the following year. And somewhere in that 10 years, and I wish I would have mentioned this earlier, Carla, because I just noticed this morning, we don't take it down till January 10th, because somewhere in there, one of the years, the supervisors said, let's just do it for an entire month, because some of the pastors would like to include Epiphany, and Epiphany is January 6th, this is January 5th. To me, it really doesn't make that much difference, but my application letter says January 10th taken down, so according to the guidelines, it says, well, then the guidelines say January 5th. I hope I'm not confusing you there. And again, one of the years, and I don't remember when, we appealed to the supervisors, and they said, yeah, just leave it up for a month from December 10th to January 10th. And maybe I don't even want to bring this up, but it's too late.
This is a case
Nothing
by
would
case.
ever happen if you wouldn't have said anything.
And it does say that, you can, number 11 is the supervisors at its discretion may grant reasonable variances from these rules, and I think we did that.
Yeah.
But I assumed that then we would do that year after year, so I don't want anything to be a technicality here.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the winter holiday display on the courthouse grounds and allowing for the variance to go until the 10th of January.
Second. Motion Derby and a second from Stensrud to go from December 10th to January 10th for the winter holiday display. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Thank you.
think it's taken care of.
All right, great.
You guys are doing a good job with that.
Well, thank you. We're trying to, and we appreciate that you allow us to do that, so. Great. All right, I'll try to remember that for next year and change that. You know, it's just,
Maybe we should just change the rules.
For some reason, I think that we might have.
oh,
But
okay, I might have the old one.
I'll look at the
All right.
policy and let you
Okay,
know.
give you something else to do, just what you need. On these days with everything being very technical and precise, I didn't want to cause problems for you gentlemen, so,
Yeah, we like technical and precise.
yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carla.
Yes, you're welcome.
What is it, the song by the politicians, dwell on small details or something like that? Phil Collins sings it, so whatever that song is. Now I got it. All right, number 4, canvass the 2020 general election.
Now, does each package have one signature page, or is it just,
I think so. We're using the Canvas out of our election night software instead of out of iVoters, so I think it's a little bit different than what it's been in the past.
You don't have the same software that has the glitch in it.
No, no.
Where was that? That was Michigan and,
We did our audit yesterday and our hand count matched our machine count, so we're good.
Yeah.
was it Georgia that had,
No, I think it was,
somewhere down south, Michigan and one other,
Michigan.
where it switched the votes.
Yeah, maybe it was Georgia, now that you say. It actually switched.
We test all of our equipment ahead of time, so I don't know how that would happen.
Just a
Well, I heard
Yeah.
rumor,
Well,
what, over that their voting machines are connected to the internet.
how can that be?
I don't know.
We never connect any of our voting machines to the internet.
Well, there
We're
would be,
smarter.
well, and we can get our elections accounted in one day too, so. It makes you wonder. You would want to connect anything to the internet, because then you open yourself up. You ever think about the Russians lately? Never thinking about it. They must have went away. Because when you told me they weren't connected to the internet, I'm like, well, how in the heck did the Russians ever have it?
That's what I've been saying all along.
Even if it's not connected to the internet, there's also the conspiracy out there that the tech company that developed it.
Yeah, there's that. That could happen, but I just assumed it was all up to the internet. She told me it wasn't. Can't happen.
Is that one of those Yetis cups or whatever you call them?
Yeah, my kids got it for me for Christmas. Keeps it hot for a long time. It's better than my old one that I've had for years, old thermos cup, that did pretty good. But this one does a much better job.
I got one from Duluth Trading Company one time, and
Yeah.
it keeps it so hot I can't even drink it. Like I have to take the lid off and let it cool
That's the
down.
problem with this one. I mean, if I just close this up and let it sit all day, it would still be hot at the end of the day.
This one doesn't seal as tight on the top, and I mean, they could make them even better. My coffee maker comes out at 165. I mean, I gotta put ice cubes in my coffee before I can drink it. Or if the cup's still got a little bit of coffee in it from yesterday, I just dump it on the top and it gets about the right temperature.
We should probably stamp that one.
Seems like a lot more pages on this one section.
We sign those too. Did you change the date on this?
Better check to make sure it's right. Not that this ever happened.
Looks good to me.
All right, lots of signatures. I don't know. You might want to look again. There was quite a few pages. The first page or so, you got to sign. One of the first pages is the signature page, and then I thumbed through. I didn't see any more till towards the end, and then a whole bunch.
Gary this one here.
Oh, did I? Just one?
Yep.
You guys watch the press coverage of Schulten versus Feenstra? They both played basketball. One, Schulten is 6'7" and Feenstra 6'6", and they played against each other over in Northwest Iowa.
Oh, really? I didn't even hear about it. Who won?
I didn't hear that. You mean the race?
No, I mean,
I don't know.
basketball game. Important, right?
Yeah, Feenstra played for Western Christian, of course. And, Schulten was Sioux City something. It was the East.
There's nothing there, what you, yeah, you better double check.
I told Lindsay to go through them when you guys are done, and look and make sure that there's,
Still in order.
there's nothing that you missed or,
Who ended up winning the supervisor in Worth County?
I don't know.
Hanson.
Hanson did win it. Yeah, it's tough to be a write-in.
Did they do two?
No, they're gonna wait, the way it sounded, wasn't it? Early on, they said they were gonna wait.
Were they gonna appoint someone?
Well, at first they said that they weren't, but maybe I told them it's worth appointing somebody to fill the position till February when they have an election. I don't know.
I guess they probably would have had their ballots printed already when
Yeah.
Ken passed away, so it would,
Okay, I've been asked this many times. Why weren't the independents on the ballot over in Worth County? They were here.
why weren't the independents on the ballot?
Marks maybe and.
He wasn't independent though. He didn't file for independent.
Well, okay.
That's the difference.
There
He
it
was a
is.
write-in.
Also, our two that were on the ballot.
They had, everybody
They
had
ended
done
up
their
filing
paperwork ahead of
independent.
time. Because-
Nominated by petition.
Yeah,
That's-
Right.
it's just an oversight on his part. He didn't file papers.
I told everybody who ran in the primary that if they lost, that they needed to file paperwork in March in order to be on the ballot in November. Legislators changed that law, because it used to be August, and now it's March.
And actually earlier than the other.
Earlier than the primary, which doesn't make any sense.
You also need little tags.
Yeah, she talked about that.
You really gotta dig for it.
The problem is that they don't give us enough time, because we had to have anything that came in by noon yesterday had to be counted if it had the right postmark. So we had from noon yesterday until this morning to get this all put together. And then we had an audit in there too, which,
So we count anything that came in this late?
up to yesterday at noon, if it was postmarked correctly.
Did you get much after the date?
One or two. We got one in yesterday, but I don't think it counted.
I really
That was
did.
Lindsay for sure.
Is this in a specific order?
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is.
That's why I didn't take it
I'm
apart.
trying to keep get the holes lined up right on this. I got the pages in the right order, just not pasting it right.
Oh, we'll fix it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, there's some holes there. Up there. facing the other. Alright.
Just take them in the order that I brought them and then flip them over and they should be same order.
There's 36 of 52 here. I'm missing a bunch more. 52 of 52.
This is where it would have been nice to have stampers.
Those are just for your information. Don't worry about it, Bill. We'll get it back together.
I think I've got it right here.
Okay.
Someone mark up the case right there.
Somebody voted for Amos Grove for the Soil and Water Conservation District. He lives in Worth County.
Oh,
Mickey Mouse. Not Mickey Mouse, Mickey Moose.
See the one that must have the moose in it. Here, I think it is.
Wow, Thurman Gaskell got a vote for his old position. Right in front of Chicken Little. Makes you feel good. States Senator, anyone else? There's 4 votes for anyone else.
I got one of those too. Mine. Anyone else?
Those people are really taking it serious, aren't they?
Making their statement.
Thanks to Terry, I had about 3 or 4 calls asking if I was running again.
What'd you do?
I was cleaning out, or helping Doug Howland clean out his barn. He says, I don't want those Mike Stensrud for supervisor signs. You return them for me. So I brought them back like two mornings before the election. I think that night before, Sunday night, I stuck them in the end of his driveway
Oh,
with all the other signs, you know. miraculously, within hours of daylight, they disappeared. He just thought you should have them.
I just burned about 75 of them.
Yeah.
They're in the right order.
Well, I got them in the right order. It's just, well, those are staples are not, it's, I don't know. Got the staple holes on the same side, but there's some of them are, maybe they were that way to start with.
Still some Steve King diehards.
He was written in.
Didn't they write him in as president or something? Or was that,
No, she was representative
okay, in the right spot?
over at Center Township.
Okay.
Maybe they did president too. Somebody made the ticket of Marco Rubio and Mike Huckabee.
I can't believe the percentage of no votes for the judges. 25% on pretty much all of them.
Well, they don't know them and they're not happy with what's going on, so they just, where do you find information on that?
Sometimes the clerk of court in the past has brought stuff down to our office, but they didn't this year.
You don't know who they are. I don't know.
I know the local ones, but
Well, yeah, I know a couple.
Well, we watched the Supreme Court do their thing in town here. I know a little bit there. But before that, I think the last election I knew a lot more than I did this time, just from personal experience.
It would take forever for individuals to do it. You're just gonna have to trust whoever you think is trustworthy to tell you, because you'd have to go through every one of their cases and see how they.
I think the one that has upset me the most, maybe 6 years ago, is when there was a liability code section for recreational use. If you're allowing people on your land for recreational use, Supreme Court made up law. They were doing the legislative part of it. So they were taking law from another state and applying it to the code of Iowa. That's what really upset me. It was a split decision for sure.
They're making landowners responsible,
Yeah,
even if you didn't give permission or if you did.
if you did.
If you gave permission.
Well, if you have a signed lease, like with the DNR or with whoever,
And then if something happens to them on your property, they can sue you.
they were changing how it was affecting the landowner for sure.
That's so.
And so right away, that was the first thing that next year that the legislature did, was made it very clear that what the Supreme Court did was wrong.
we can't legislate from the bench.
Right. Take another state's rules and apply them to your state. It's just unbelievable.
I always talk to law enforcement too and see which judges are anti-law enforcement and which ones are.
What's that?
for all that they're Clyde's letting, you don't know Clyde.
I know Clyde.
I don't know, but,
I think I can guess who probably wrote that one.
Hangs out at Dave's a lot. Nice guy.
Santa Claus. Good night, Howard Peterson did too.
He's got ambitions.
Three. Good grief.
That was probably instigated at the lumberyard. They all sat around it.
I know a couple Clydes, they were both characters. There's anyone that's still alive too.
Don't forget to sign those,
That's right.
and falling asleep.
I don't know where I got it. I got all my sisters except for one had carpal tunnel surgery. Where I got that, it makes my hand go numb every now and then or what. Another good one in there?
U.S. President, Vice President Jim Little and Ron Holiday.
Well, they are quite the pair. Thanks, Terry.
I guess when you're ready, I'll make a motion to accept the canvassing of the general election, 2020.
I'll second that.
Motion
There's no
carried.
signatures in these, they're just down to something.
So you're just, this is, okay.
Just entertainment.
Gonna take the signature ones over to Lindsay quick though and make sure we've got it all.
Okay. Did you make a motion, Terry?
Yeah.
Terry B.
Motion from Terry and a second from
Mike.
Mike. That means I'm going first names now. To approve, the canvass of the 2020 general election. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies.
Is Julie back to work or?
Julie, you on the line? No. Well, I'll assume there's no changes.
Our numbers have gone way up in the last week.
That's what I hear.
Probably not.
It's a version of the flu, it's flu season.
We don't have to worry about our hospital in this county being over full, but somebody else will.
Yes, means we don't have a hospital in this county. We used to. I wish we still did.
We used to have two.
Yeah, we still.
Where's the other one?
Bus
Center.
Oh.
3 doctors
Just
there
south
all
of
the
the
time.
school. Lot.
Corner from Bowling Alley. It's called the Hospital Apartments now. Guy graduated just
Who were the older doctors there back when, the Colonel Johnson would have been in his 30s, 40s? So 40 or 50 years ago.
Yeah, it'd be Doc Mormon, Doc Croc, and Dr. Feldig. The 3 of them were there.
Doc Johnson, Colonel Johnson said he owes his life. I don't know which one of those doctors. He wasn't feeling all that great, so he went in and got a shot of penicillin and was going to leave. And he said, I'll have a cigarette with you. So the Colonel said he owes his life to a cigarette. So he had a cigarette, and while he was having a cigarette, he passed out.
Oh, really?
He was allergic to penicillin, and I told him he would have dead if he had gone home. So.
Yeah. Well, it was probably Doc Mormon, because he smoked. He told everybody to quit smoking for their health, but he never did himself. He was, I graduated with his youngest son, so I used to spend a lot of time back there.
Just heard that story.
He was a character, and I will spare all you guys the embarrassment of you too. Telling some of the stories.
So I don't think we have any changes to our COVID policies right
No.
now.
All right, we'll move on to, all right, let's see, I gotta pick this up.
Pick your receiver up.
What is it, 7530 for him? Yeah. Now we're ready for you, Scott. All right, thank you.
I didn't see it in the semi-monthly claims. We'll get them out of the way.
Good, I didn't see anything.
I'll make a motion to approve those number 14.
I'll second it.
Motion is Stenzer and second from Derby to approve the settlement of county claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Give you the payroll too.
Scott?
Morning.
Morning.
Well, our construction project wrapped up on Saturday and they got the painting done, and so all that work is complete, and now Eric will start working on final documents and final payments and getting all the certifications and everything lined up for that project. That'll be quite a job with how much materials they used and size of the project, so we'll be working on that.
So they paint the lines and then they come over and grind them? So they.
Yeah, so, well, first they do the drip line, which is like
Yeah,
that
that
skinny little white line.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back with a really dialed back paint with no beads or anything.
Yeah,
And that's, I guess, the guide for the grinders to come through and
yeah.
groove it in. And then they paint it final with a thicker coat with the glass beads in it for reflectivity.
Yeah.
Quite a little process, I
Yeah,
guess.
I didn't realize that I would have thought that I had a thing where they just ground it every now and then and had it centered somehow. You know, with the way, with satellites and stuff nowadays where you can just dial it all. I didn't know if they actually use any of that.
I guess not, yeah.
Because I know my nephew, brother-in-law, they're doing strip till now.
Mhm,
It
yeah.
amazes me that you can put the fertilizer in one spot and come back with a different tractor and a different punter and then run that row plant the seed right on top of them fertilizers.
Yeah. I don't know.
So does this process sense the line automatically, or is it a manual thing?
The cadence is programmed, so, you know, the spacing between the dashes and everything is pre-programmed, both in the grooving and the paint machine. So they hit each, and I think they have a button to kind of speed up or slow down, but for the most part, they're just letting the system take care of the spacing and everything. So that's another project in the bag. One thing I'm starting to work on is construction plans for next summer and the next 5 years. We had a short year on bridge inspection this year, so I don't have a whole lot of updates on that, but I will juggle a few bridges in the 5-year program. As far as paving goes, we don't plan to do any paving next summer unless, Carly, we talked real briefly about potential for any TIF money. And I talked with you guys all about that decision being made probably after new supervisors sworn in, but I don't have any information on that. Carla, did you have a chance to start
I have
looking at
not.
it? Yeah, that's fine. Maybe sometime in the next month or so.
Yeah.
Get something. The way numbers look, you know, if we get 20 years out of the type of paving that we did this year, our dollars per mile per year is just over half of what I think we need to do a really good job. You know, so we either got to invest a lot of money out of our local budget that we're currently spending on bridges and other large maintenance, culverts and stuff like that, and put it into paving, or we need to find some other supplemental money to try and, you know, keep us floating on our pavement system. And specifically here in about 10 years when all of our 2010 paving comes due. So that's just kind of the daunting numbers that are always floating in the back of my mind. But
Culverts need to be inspected.
anything over 20-foot span gets inspected legally or as required by the federal government. But we do have any bridge we replace with a culvert, we keep on a 4 or 10-year rotation for inspection by our bridge consultants. Other than that, it's just kind of as they, you know, have issues. We don't send anybody regularly underneath to take a look at them. But culverts tend to fail in a way that's not so dangerous. You know, you don't have a culvert collapse and a truck fall in the bottom like you do see at some bridges in the state every now and then. You know, they develop a hole here or there, start to scour or something like that. But I mean, those concrete box culverts we put in, those should be there for a long, long time before we have any issues with
I
them.
would think so.
100 years maybe. So.
Yeah. Because one reason I brought up the painting is when they first painted the yellow lines, they went right over big clumps of mud and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they didn't make much of an effort to clean that. Well, then
Yeah.
later they came by and ground it all, and I'm like, oh, wow,
Okay.
that's nice.
Yeah. Well, it was just when the fields, you know, people were doing field work and that sometimes tracking dirt on the road and stuff like that. So yeah.
It was kind of funny. One was a big, pretty good sized clump.
Yeah. Could have taken a picture of it. That'd have been a good funny one.
Yeah, no, yeah, I should have stopped and took a picture
One
of
of those, don't do this.
Right. Yeah. That in a slideshow sometime.
it. I may have if it would have stayed that way.
Yeah. Yeah, the grooving's kind of nice that way. You get perfectly clean slate and they air blow it off and everything. It's got kind of a texture to it, so it should really be a while before we have to touch those up, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good idea to keep it away from the blade.
Yeah. That's really all I got today.
I got nothing. Either.
I didn't have anything.
All right. Then we'll move on to number 8, consider for approval road use and repair agreement with Crystal Lake Wind 3.
This is an agreement that we've been working on with NextEra, the manager for owner of Crystal Lake 3 Wind, which is 44 turbines, furthest northwest or just southeast of Buffalo Center up there. And this project is similar to the last one with the 88 turbines to replace the blades, the generators, the hubs. Those three things mainly. Right? Yeah, so they'll be putting in some wider radiuses so they can haul in some heavy, long loads. They'll be, bringing in cranes to disassemble and reassemble the turbines. Pretty substantial project. Scheduling to do the work kind of between December and June, so we're likely to get into the spring of the year and have trouble with the roads in the spring, as we always do. So this agreement's set up so that the contractor is responsible for taking care of the roads during the construction. So any rock that's hauled out there, they pay for, they haul it out there. They keep a maintainer on site, they blade it. They pretty much do everything except for snow removal, which our guys will do in the winter. We'll have signs up posting where they can and cannot go, so hopefully that will clean up some of the issues we had with some of the other wind farms kind of getting off haul routes. It'll help me and our staff kind of catch them off the haul routes if they do so. It'll help the landowners out there know where they're supposed to go, and if they see problems, they can call us. It also provides for performance bond and insurance, so if any accidents happen out there, they cover it. If they leave things in a condition that's not acceptable, we're able to remedy the situation and ultimately, rely on performance bond to make sure everything gets straightened up out there. The idea is that they leave the roads in the same or better condition than they found them. In the case of the most recent one, Golden Plains, I think overall the roads are in better condition than when they got here. Because they got here with some roads in pretty tough condition after last year's, really wet spring, summer, fall.
They made a pretty good base on a lot of our roads. I mean, it was a nasty spring for roads, but it might have been pretty good timing for us to get some pretty good improvements made that we didn't have to do ourselves.
I mean, that's not what this is supposed to do,
No,
is give us
that's
free
just the way
rock,
it ended
but
up
that's
being.
just the way it ended up. So,
Yeah.
hoping we get a good contractor out there that we can make contact with here shortly, and really have a high standard for how they keep the road during the construction. Again, these turbines are already there. The landowners are used to looking at them, so it's not, quite the intrusion of new wind turbines, dotting the horizon. So,
Said that they're, in theory, they're bigger and noisier, is what some people say, but I also hear that the ones are supposed to be quieter.
yeah,
They all seem to
Are you
be,
getting any pushback from windmills?
From the ones that were put in just
Yeah,
recently.
that and
I haven't heard anybody say anything since they've been put in.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that didn't want them put in.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people who wanted them put in.
so the special exception permit is on the Board of Adjustment agenda here shortly. Is it this week, I think? Date escapes me, but the turbines are, blades are 33 foot taller is all. So I would think once they're taken down, put back up, they'll look predominantly the same, except for
exactly
the
that project only, the Board of Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment is considering just that one repower project. Yep,
I
like I
got
said,
some calls.
okay. But there are 44 turbines and they're not all exactly the same, but the biggest ones will go from 388 feet to 421 foot tall with the blade straight up. The hub height will be the same, so they won't be changing substantially. It'll probably just be kind of the more sleeker look that the new ones have that are kind of more like a
More efficient.
airplane wing with a little
Generator.
whip on the end. Yeah, and the generator, of course. So this agreement also has the haul route spelled out, and that map's already been kind of hashed out with the contractor, or excuse me, the NextEra, the owners.
Yeah. Had a few guys that, drive trucks around the gravel roads during the fall and stuff like that. They wanted to know why they took out those nice white corners. Is there a reason that they get removed again?
Well, a lot of them.
Because they give the rock away, it costs them more money to dig them back out and all that, but,
I mean, a lot of them are on private property, you know, because they got to be so big.
yeah, that could be,
And I'd say a lot of them also create tricky drainage issues because they
yeah.
pretty much take up the entire ditch through the corner.
Most of those had a tile buried underneath them to extend the culvert if there was one.
Yeah, and this
I
would be
would,
the same
I would
case.
say it's also gonna be more work for the road crew to maintain a wider corner.
Well, they wouldn't necessarily have to keep it cleaned out all the way to the end. There is one in particular intersection that I turned, it was really nice last fall.
I'm sure you could take it 30, 40 mile an hour, so.
Well, you know, I did back off a little bit for, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a good driver shouldn't need those big radiuses, right? So
That's
shouldn't affect
true.
anybody in this
That's
county.
true, but I know a lot of people that, have driven them for years and then they make one little whoops.
Yep.
Over they go.
Yep, drop a tire in, whatever. I think a lot of that material, they ended up hauling on their own their access roads and stuff like that too. And I think they account for that in their bid when they originally, you know, get involved in the project. So I don't know.
You know, I heard rumors there was a lot of dirt in it as far as, you know, that rock when they would take it back out.
I'm sure some of it, yeah. But at the end of the
We
Golden
thought
Plains,
about getting some of it.
sure. At the end of the Golden Plains project, we had maybe a day's worth of hauling that they didn't have a place for the rock, so they just spotted our roads. So that was nice too. So at this point, I think Kimberly Dickey from Crystal Lake, or from NextEra, is on the phone, if you guys have any questions for her. Otherwise, I'm asking for your approval of this agreement today. I already have their signature, in fact. I suppose it's yours.
Thanks, Scott. I also have our project developer, Bo McGee, on the call, and we also have Chris Chumney, who is our construction site manager for the project. So we're here to answer any questions that you may have, project related, and also project timeline. So feel free to ask any questions that you have.
It's gonna be pretty much the same process we just went through, right? On the
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. I'll let Chris kind of give a high-level overview. He's, you know, set to deploy for early-stage construction activities as soon as we get all permits in hand this week. So I'll let him kind of give you guys his high-level overview.
Hey, good morning, guys. So, yeah, this project is very similar. In fact, the repower process is exactly the same as what we did on Crystal 1. The only difference in this project and the last one is that we're going to have to take out some of the material, some of the backfill around the wind turbine foundations and refill it with some new material. And that's the only difference.
How about the disposal of the blades? Have they figured out anything better than just the landfill, or have they not made any inroads on that?
The answer to that is yes. GE has specifically started sending all blades to recycle facilities. They may or may not be immediately recycling them, but that's what they're being used for at this point, or stored for. I do not have confirmation, so I can't speak directly to Crystal 3 yet, as GE does not have a contract for where the blades are going to go, but that is the intent of all repowers moving forward, is to use the blades for recycling, not for landfill disposal.
I think that would make a lot of people happy.
That process changed, middle of this year, probably around June or July. So, every project we've done since the middle of the summer, the blades have gone for that purpose.
Is there any steel in those blades at all?
No, sir. Well, there's the blade group, but that's taken off.
So what are they made out of?
Fiberglass.
And balsam wood, I think,
Is it balsam wood in there?
is what I understood.
I was reading.
Perfect asphalt additive, I think, but who knows?
Yeah, so grind it up and put it in they do that with, stuff out of power plants, what do they call that stuff?
Fly ash,
Fly ash, there you go.
a little bit different than the fiber is nature.
Well, they make a cement that you can get
Certainly,
fiberglass in it.
certainly, yeah,
But in theory, it's supposed to hold it together
yeah,
better.
absolutely.
But,
Should try that.
yeah, I just read a thing on the recycling of the blades, different uses they were coming up with.
Well, Chumney, you're no longer a pawnbroker?
No, sir.
Pawn stars?
Yeah, seen it. Well, I suppose it's your district.
Oh, alright. I'll make the motion to approve the road use and repair agreement with Crystal Lake Wind 3.
I'll second it.
Motion from Gentle, second from Stensrud, to approve the road use repair agreement with Crystal Lake Wind 3. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you both.
Thank you. And Scott, I'm not sure if the line item on your agenda regarding the bond refers to our project, but I will just give you guys an update since we're all on the call right now. We are making that request to our bond issuance company today, and it's typically a 48-hour turnaround. The county is a recipient of a signed, sealed copy of that bond. So we have that ready to go today, and we're hoping that the county receives it by Thursday or Friday of this week.
Okay, Kimberly, that's a decommissioning bond for another wind farm, but
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
keep an eye out for yours, yeah. I'll keep an eye out for your bond, though.
Okay, thanks, Scott. And I'll follow up with you regarding the crane walk exhibits as soon as I have received them from our consultant today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Mount Valley must be Beatles fans, huh? The write-ins, the Scooby-Doo, Ringo Starr, John Lennon, and Paul McCartney, Elvis Costello.
Oh, boy.
It's times like those, you're glad the election wasn't decided by 1 or 2 votes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's,
On the Carla?
Thank you.
detaining. Okay, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I just have one thing for drainage. I have a gentleman who has requested that we add a private ditch into DD5, section 17 and 18 in Mountain Valley.
He wants to improve it.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily an improvement. It's adding a piece that, so there's a private ditch and there's a private, I wish Chris was here because she could explain it better. but there was, people who had agreement about a private ditch. And this other guy had a private ditch over here. Well, then these people blocked this guy from getting drainage. So he wants all of it added into DD5 so that he can have drainage.
But they can't block him.
Well, they are.
Not even a private one they can't. No.
Okay, so this was in what sections?
Section 17 and 18 of Mount Valley.
Who's it?
Mark Eggstall?
Yeah, it wouldn't be an improvement. It's not
just-
increasing the drainage, so.
It would just add that into DD5.
Or just adding, I thought you were
So we'd have to
I thought you
do-
said add on to the ditch.
So we'd have, no,
Just adding
no, adding land into the
into
district.
the drainage system.
So we'd have to have, basically an
Annexation.
annexation.
Yeah.
Process.
Yeah, and probably call Rick and have him,
So that's what the petition's for, to annex? And would both of them, both ditches would be in there?
All right, thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Both private ditches would come into the,
So we better check with some of the existing landowners. What we want. Worth County just did that. Pretty big, private ditch.
annex people in.
They annexed the ditch in.
Okay.
They thought it was gonna be a contentious issue because of personalities, but they did it and it went along just fine. So,
Well, we gotta make sure that everybody has drainage.
Yeah.
That's,
well, I've seen that on other, private trustee districts where they don't exactly go by the rules.
like you said, they should be allowing everybody to have drainage, and it's not working quite that way. I mean, Chris will be back next week and she can probably explain it all a little bit
I
better.
would have Chris check with the lawyer, on the one owner blocking the ditch. I'm almost positive he can't do that.
No, it's natural flow of water.
Water.
Well, that's not a natural flow, because that ditch was dug.
Well, if it probably at one point improved it, but it's still in the natural flow probably.
The lawyer probably had to look at it before we do anything.
So I suppose an engineer would have to be involved for annexation.
Has that district been reclassified?
DD5, yeah. So we just have to, we wouldn't reclassify the whole thing, we'd just annex it in.
So it wouldn't probably cost the rest of the district, just that part of it,
Mhm.
just the lateral ditch cost.
I'd have to talk to Rick to find out for sure, but,
Well.
and it might change, like, some of the people right in there a little bit, but,
If it's like the Worth County one, they're just doing it so that they can absorb the cost of cleanouts. Or have the district absorb the cost of cleanout, I should say. Okay.
All right. Move on to number 10, set public hearing date for fiscal year 21 budget amendment.
so I had you set this the last time we met, and then I got too busy to send it to the paper. So I just need to reset it for December 1st at 9:30 a.m.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion Stenger and second Derby to set the public hearing date for fiscal year 21 budget amendment for 12/1 at 9:30 a.m. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 11, accept wind turbine bond.
Matt, are you on the phone?
to, Invenergy at all? Invenergy? They've been trying to call us, I guess,
Oh, yeah, I had a voicemail from all that guys. I never
from
called
Oklahoma.
back. Yeah, it was a number I wouldn't answer, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's one of them calls.
Well, he left a message, so I
He did leave a message and I forgot to call him back.
he made it sound like he's been working very close with Matt Elvis. Call Matt on.
Well, I just texted him, so maybe he'll,
What in terms of bond, what's the bond?
it's so that if they take them down, that they don't just leave them, that they,
Oh,
That's always questioned at the meetings.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's what the bond's for, but Matt knows about it, and hopefully,
So they're working around. It's obviously that's been grabbing about all of it, right, as far as this
He
one.
was leading a group, I guess.
Yeah. We managed to appease those people, or no? No, okay, I didn't.
There's a lot of people that sign, right-of-ways that wish they hadn't.
Well, I read those contracts, I would have signed it. It's only one reason to have a gag order in a contract. Okay, then we'll move on, consider for approval auditors transfers.
Make that a motion.
Second.
Motion Stenger, second Derby, approve the auditor's transfers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Don't they always have a bond for tearing them down? It's a requirement, isn't it? Yeah. I guess I don't remember ever approving one before.
Which one is this on?
Number 11.
No, but which farm? Which wind farm?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, didn't Scott make it sound like it was for another one?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's not for the new one. Well, I shouldn't say that.
The new redo. I don't know.
Should I try and call him?
Hello.
Hey, Matt. It's Carla and the board,
Yes.
and we're just wondering about that bond.
Yes. That was a bond that I had requested, and the zoning board has requested for the EDF Alliant Windmill project for their decommissioning plan. So if something were to happen with that project, they would have funds to have it decommissioned, basically dug up and hauled away. I reviewed it. Kelsey's reviewed it. We had a bond attorney review it, and also kind of worked with Cassuth County and how they did some of their stuff too, and work with them on some of their stuff. And so that's basically where we came to. And the way that I wrote the permit, it needed to have board action to accept that. And then once you guys accept that, I'll have that recorded as well. So if I'm not zoning administrator, people down the road would know if the windmills were decommissioned, that there's a bond in place to have that removed.
Which
Does that
farm?
make sense?
Which farm is that on?
That's on the project right now that just finished up, the EDF Alliant, up in the northwest
Okay.
part of Winnebago County.
Okay.
So this will just hold them to it.
That was a major concern of the residents of Winnebago County in this area is what happens if they go belly up. We're gonna have dinosaurs out in the fields, and so to protect that, I asked for a bond and to decommission that. So
Well, I thought there was a bond before that. Or is it just their word that they'll do it? I thought it was bonded before that.
Have you been in contact with them on this?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. There might have been a bond for them to complete road work or something like that. I don't know, but this was a bond that I requested for the decommissioning plan.
Oh, 'cause
So,
I can remember discussing the removal. Because, they only go, what was it, 5 feet deep or something like that with the cement and all that, which I didn't think was enough.
well, actually, the way that it's constructed per their engineers, it's a 4 foot, it's a 48 inch, the way that foundation is, and the way that it reads, it's 48 inches below the ground. Because I guess after 48 inches, it must really grow in size where it wouldn't even be feasible for them to pull that whole foundation out. So,
Well, I think it should be feasible for them. They can do wonderful things with dynamite nowadays.
yep. So,
Well, that's reasonable.
I imagine they wouldn't have done this part of the bond until they were completely done with the project.
right. Yep. So basically, now it was transferred from I think EDF to Alliant. Now they're the actual owners, and that's who this is through. So.
And one thing I do remember about the bond didn't come into play until it was like 10 years down the road or something like that.
Excuse me.
All right, well. I don't think it's deep enough, but,
But that's not what this is about either.
no. I'll make it just says accept wind turbine bond, there's no.
Is there a document?
I'm guessing if there's a motion to accept it, and then I'll have it recorded probably on Thursday. So I also have
It doesn't say.
Yep, there's a public hearing on Thursday.
Well, we can accept it.
You can accept it,
So I make a motion to accept the wind turbine bond.
yes.
I'll second it.
Motion Gentile, second Derby to accept the wind turbine bond. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks,
All right.
Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Yep. Bye bye.
Okay, open forum.
I gave the manure management, and then I gave the minutes to sign. And that's all I have.
Just one spot to sign.
I think so. Should be at the end.
Make a motion to approve payroll.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stanger and second Derby to approve the payroll claims. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, well, anything else? We stand adjourned.